You're listening to the Everything Jewish 10 Minutes at a Time podcast, where you'll learn about every Jewish topic imaginable in about 10 minutes. First, a quick apology. My Hebrew pronunciation might sound like your GPS trying to pronounce Colent Street. That's because my voice isn't real. It's AI generated. So if you hear me say Belshazzar and it comes out like Belshazzebra, just roll with it. Today's topic is the Book of Daniel, and let me tell you, this one's packed with fiery furnaces, mysterious dreams, lions, and enough apocalyptic visions to rival every sci-fi movie you've ever seen. Daniel isn't just about survival in exile. It's about keeping faith while navigating strange lands, bizarre kings, and cosmic mysteries. Think of it as part survival guide, part prophecy, and part Netflix thriller. And at its core, it asks, how do you stay Jewish, proud, and faithful when the whole world around you wants you to blend in, bow down, or give up? Spoiler alert, Daniel pulls it off, with flair. Daniel opens in Babylon after King Nebuchadnezzar's conquest of Jerusalem in 605 BCE. Imagine your entire world gets flipped upside down, temple destroyed, city taken, and suddenly you're shipped off to a foreign land that feels more Vegas than Jerusalem. Among the exiles are Daniel and his three friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The Babylonian court renames them Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego because nothing says assimilation like a forced rebrand. They're recruited for palace training, basically an ancient Ivy League scholarship program. But there's a catch. The king's menu includes foods forbidden by Jewish law. While most students would say, free steak? Where do I sign? Daniel politely declines, requesting vegetables and water instead. It sounds like the world's first Whole30 diet, but here's the kicker. After 10 days, he and his friends look healthier than everyone else. Lesson? Sometimes sticking to your values, even in food court choices, pays off big. It's not just about kale and carrots. It's about Jewish identity surviving in exile. Next up, we get Nebuchadnezzar's bad dream. Ancient kings didn't have Netflix, so vivid nightmares were prime entertainment. The king dreams of a giant statue made of gold, silver, bronze, iron, and clay. No one can explain it, so Nebuchadnezzar does what every rational monarch does, threatens to kill all his advisors. Enter Daniel, who prays for wisdom and then gives the interpretation. The statue, he explains, represents kingdoms that will rise and fall: Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome. The message? Earthly empires crumble, but God's kingdom lasts forever. It's a mic drop moment. Think of Daniel as the original TED Talk speaker, calm, clear, and pulling insights that blow everyone away. The king is so impressed he promotes Daniel and his friends to top positions. But the bigger theme is that Daniel isn't just decoding dreams. He's reminding us that no empire, no matter how shiny, outlasts divine justice. Spoiler, history has proven him right. Then comes one of the most famous episodes, the fiery furnace. King Nebuchadnezzar builds a giant golden statue and demands everyone bow. This is like mandatory TikTok participation, but with lethal consequences for opting out. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refuse. Furious, the king throws them into a furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual, basically ancient overkill. But instead of roasting like marshmallows, they stroll inside unharmed, joined by a mysterious fourth figure, like a son of the gods. Nebuchadnezzar freaks out, calls them out, and declares their God supreme. It's the ultimate reversal. What started as punishment becomes testimony. This story has echoed through centuries as a symbol of civil disobedience and faith under pressure. Whether you picture it like Survivor Babylon or a Marvel origin story, the point is clear. Staying true to your beliefs can light the fire of inspiration without burning you down. Daniel himself faces his own ultimate test in the lion's den. Fast forward to King Darius of Persia, who gets tricked by jealous advisors into passing a law forbidding prayer to anyone but the king. Daniel, being Daniel, keeps praying 3 times a day, openly at his window. It's basically a protest live stream, ancient edition. The punishment? A one-way ticket into a pit of hungry lions. But just like in a Disney movie where the animals inexplicably befriend the hero, the lions don't touch him. The next morning, Daniel emerges without a scratch, while his scheming rivals end up as lion chow. The story isn't just about miraculous survival. It's about courage to practice your faith even when the laws of the land say otherwise. Across history, Jews facing persecution have drawn strength from Daniel's courage. And let's be honest, If you can face down lions, you can probably handle a bad Yelp review or a Twitter mob.
Finding places to go hunting doesn't have to be hard. Go Hunt is an application for your phone and for your computer that lets you tell us where you want to hunt, and we'll show you what tags you can draw. Tons of information about the unit, photos from the area, and you can even connect with other hunters to see how they've done when they had the tag. You will see what tags you can put in for, your odds of drawing that tag, and everything you need to know about the area before you even go there. If you're ready to make your next season a success, head to gohunt.com and make sure to use promo code LISTEN, LISTEN, at checkout to get $50 back to spend in the Go Hunt gear shop.
One of the biggest challenges of earning a degree while on active duty is transitioning your lifestyle and goals from military service to academic studies. National University gets it. As a top educator of the U.S. military, they provide dedicated military support and advising services, credit for your military experience, and all the benefits of a military-friendly school. That's why 30% of their students are military affiliated. NU, education that serves those who serve.
The second half of Daniel takes a wild turn. Gone are the easy-to-retell adventure stories. Now we're in full prophetic, apocalyptic mode. Daniel has visions of beasts rising from the sea, a ram and a goat battling, and celestial beings delivering cryptic messages. It reads like a mashup of Stranger Things and Lord of the Rings. Scholars interpret these visions as symbolic of empires and rulers, forecasting conflicts between Persia, Greece, and later powers. One famous image is the Ancient of Days, seated on a fiery throne, and one like a son of man coming with the clouds. This imagery becomes central in Jewish and later Christian thought about the end of days. While modern readers may scratch their heads, ancient audiences understood it as coded encouragement. No matter how terrifying the beasts of history look, God's justice will prevail. It's prophecy as resistance literature, saying evil may look powerful, but it has an expiration date. Daniel also introduces angelic messengers, Gabriel and Michael, who explain visions and protect God's people. This is one of the earliest places in the Hebrew Bible where angels step out of the background and take on named roles. If Torah is about God speaking directly, Daniel is about cosmic intermediaries, suggesting a heavenly bureaucracy managing human affairs. It's like discovering that the universe has a divine customer support team. This shift reflects the Jewish experience in exile. With the temple destroyed and God seeming distant, angels offered a way to imagine divine presence still at work. These angelic encounters also influenced later Jewish mysticism, as well as Christian and Islamic traditions. The idea of cosmic battles between good and evil, overseen by angelic generals, echoes through centuries of theology, art, and storytelling. So next time you see Michael slaying a dragon in medieval art, remember, it traces back to Daniel's visions. Culturally, Daniel became a touchstone for Jewish resilience. For Jews living under foreign empires, whether Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, or Romans, the stories of Daniel and his friends modeled how to resist assimilation without losing dignity. They showed you could serve in royal courts, learn the language, even wear the clothes, but still hold fast to core identity. In later Jewish tradition, Daniel's fasting practices shaped ideas of ascetic discipline, and his prophecies fueled messianic hopes. The Book of Daniel is also unique. Written partly in Hebrew, partly in Aramaic, it reflects the bilingual, multicultural world of the diaspora. Its mix of narrative and vision bridges history and hope. For some, Daniel reads like survival advice. For others, it's apocalyptic Netflix binge material. Either way, it's deeply Jewish in its central theme. No matter where we are, God's justice runs deeper than any empire's power. Daniel's influence extends far beyond Jewish tradition. Early Christians quoted his visions, especially the Son of Man, imagery, in describing Jesus. Later, apocalyptic movements from medieval times to modern televangelists borrowed Daniel's beasts and timelines to predict world events. Even secular culture taps into Daniel's legacy, whether it's novels, films, or speeches about courage under pressure. Martin Luther King Jr. referenced the fiery furnace in his Letter from Birmingham Jail. The Lion's Den pops up in children's books, cartoons, and even memes. And honestly, who hasn't felt like they were tossed into a modern lion's den, whether it's a job interview, family dinner, or Twitter pile-on? Daniel reminds us that faith, integrity, and courage can carry us through the scariest tests. It's not just ancient history. It's a survival guide for anyone who's ever faced overwhelming odds. So what's the takeaway? The book of Daniel isn't just a collection of cool stories and trippy visions. It's about living Jewishly in exile, keeping faith when you're far from home, and believing that justice will outlast oppression. Its heroes didn't compromise even when the stakes were life and death, and its visions remind us that history bends toward divine justice. That's why Jews still read Daniel during Hanukkah season. Its prophecies of Greek oppression and resistance resonate with the Maccabean story, and it's why Daniel's courage continues to inspire people of all faiths. Whether you picture him as a fearless prophet, a wise dream interpreter, or the original plant-based diet influencer, Daniel stands tall as a model of resilience. Thanks for listening to Everything Jewish, 10 minutes at a time. If you enjoyed this dive into Daniel, stick around. We've got plenty more stories, festivals, and ideas coming your way. Because in Jewish learning, just like in Daniel, the adventure never really ends.